Welcome to the Weekend Business Ideas Podcast by iSearch. Today we have Amirul, the head of community at Easystore on the show. So I'll be discussing with Amirul on how to start a successful e-commerce business in Malaysia. So welcome to the show, Amirul.
Hi, thank you, Benjamin, for having me on the show.
All right, so let's begin. So let's talk about the business idea. So could you share with us what are the steps for people to start an e-commerce store and also to get consistent sales?
Yeah, okay. First of all, of course, you will need to have decided on the business that you are going to run. And then also you need to have the products ready. But it doesn't mean that you have to have your own products. You can also sell other people's products as well. Like, for example, it's called a retail arbitrage. So retail arbitrage is you just buy products from like other retailers and then you are reselling it. So that is retail arbitrage. Or you can become an agent of products. So this is very popular and very common in Malaysia. So they allow for people to become agents of their products and help them to sell those products. And with this, you can even do like drop shipping, which you don't even need to hold inventory at all. So that's on the product side. So now when you have the products, you will need to build your e-commerce store. So it's basically a website that has shopping cart features that able to collect payment because you want to sell, right? And then people have to make the payment. So that is basically like the e-commerce function. So for the e-commerce website, the e-commerce store, you can either pay people to build it for you, or you can do a more like cost-effective way would be to use like to build it yourself using it's much easier using a fully hosted e-commerce solution like Easystore, so where you can easily build your e-commerce store without having to be like tech savvy or need all this like coding and stuff. And then when you launch your e-commerce store, you will need to drive traffic using different marketing strategies.
Okay, so from what I understand, there's three options if people wish to start an e-commerce business. First is to sell their own product, means they already have manufactured their own product. So I guess this one is probably harder to start because you have to manufacture your own product. Second one would be retail arbitrage. So you get products from retail stores and then you sell on your store. And then third one would be drop shipping. Is it these three?
Yeah.
So
yeah, these are usually the common one.
Okay. Is there anything else that I miss that people can also consider to do e-commerce?
In terms of the business model, that would be like pretty much it. And like you mentioned, okay, to have your own product and then do your own manufacturing, you might need a bigger capital to start with this. So mostly people don't have that much capital to start with. So you can just like sell other people's products.
Yeah, which I think that to start with, the second and third option would be a better way first, just to test market. So if you feel that this product is selling really well, then you can consider to really dump in the capital to manufacture your own rather than go in.
Definitely. So you're using it for like testing, and then you see, okay, oh, this is really doing well. Because one of the problems that we usually face is like people don't know what to sell. So this is also an issue. So the advice would be just trying out different things. Maybe that you are passionate in, so you can just buy from a retail and then just reselling it, see if it works. If it's not, just move on to a different product. So you don't have that much of a commitment.
Any ninja hack or research method for people to know before they sell a product whether will it fly?
There are lots of tools that you can use. Like for myself, I use like Google Trends. That's one. And my favorite place to go is also the marketplaces like your Shopee, your Lazada. So just seeing, because they actually have the number of products sold, the number of orders, right? So you can see it from there, But then of course, like the higher the number means that it's higher competition or something like that. So you have to like really balance it. You don't want something that people are selling but they are not getting any sales. So stay away from those and look for those that is getting some sales but not like the highest one. If you go for like most popular products, then of course there will be a lot of competition.
Right. So how many sellers are there on Easystore currently, that sellers that use Easystore to sell?
We actually have more than 40,000 users on Easystore.
Right.
We have different types of plans.
So having helped over 40,000 sellers start their e-commerce business on Easystore, what are the advantages for people to sell using Easystore as compared to, say, other alternatives?
At Easystore, we believe that the consumer behavior now has evolved. and this is due to like the technology and the options available for consumers. So you have your social media, and with apps, with mobile shopping apps like Shopee, you can easily buy pretty much anything just from your smartphone. So with this, the consumer behavior, people are buying things from like multiple platforms. They are buying on social media where they're spending a lot of time. They're discovering products on social media. And then people are also used to buying from marketplaces now, like Shopee. So even like my parents that are not very tech savvy, now they are starting to buy online from Shopee. So the consumer behavior is really different compared to a few years back, where people are just, if they prefer like buying from physical store, then they will just buy from physical store and not other places. But now with all of these options available and the technology, they are buying from different places and whichever is convenient to them. So like sellers, we believe that sellers need to adapt to this consumer behavior. If not, they will miss out on lots of opportunities to get customers. So for example, if they are selling just on Shopee, for example, so you are missing out on those people that are not even aware that they need your products. Right, so the product discovery would probably come in when it comes to their customer journey. It will probably be in social media. So like for the ads, right? They see the ads, it's like, oh, I never heard of this product category, and suddenly I want it. Then they might go into Shopee and start looking for it. So it's like multiple channels, are multiple platforms. So don't just like stick with one. And then as you can see from like the pandemic, people are selling on their own physical store. And then what happens? The lockdown happened, people are not going out, and then suddenly no business. So they don't have any backup for that. So this is where we come in with Easystore. So we allow sellers to manage multiple sales channels. That means import, export, product listing, like taking your products from Shopee and then putting it to your website without having to do double the work. You just import and export. Your orders are all under centralized system. So your orders, inventory data, customer information, all under one system. So even if you are a smaller seller, like you're just a micro business selling from home, you can easily sell on multiple sales channel without having to add resources or having to add employees and so on. So this we would say like what Easystore is going for moving forward.
Okay, so I can see the advantage in terms of having multiple channels on Easystore, and you don't have to. I mean, everything can be set up for you in just one channel. But how many channels are there on Easystore that I can integrate with?
Currently, we have a total of 13, and this includes like your social media, so like Facebook Shop, Facebook Catalog, Instagram, and Shopee, Lazada. And in terms of marketplaces, we only have Malaysia at the moment, so Shopee Malaysia, Lazada Malaysia, and a few other marketplaces. So there's a bunch of different sales channels, so including like Google Shopping, Google Ads as well.
And at month end, the owner of this e-commerce store, they can see the sales is coming from where. Let's say 20K, maybe 5K from Shopee, 5K from Google, 3K from Facebook. Then they can analyze where to put more of their attention to.
Yes, exactly. So we have business analytics tools as well that they can see the sales coming in from the different channels.
And the next thing is, because to build a website, you need to have like coding experience. So to set up an Easystore, how easy it is?
It's not like, you still need some kind of tech savvy, because especially with the design. So you need to know how to do design the sliding banners, different category banners. But you don't need to do any coding, no coding at all, but you can. So let's say if you know basic like HTML or something, you are still able to, design a little bit using coding. But if you have no idea on how to do coding, you are still able to come up with like very nice design. And we have a lot of sellers that are not tech savvy at all, and they don't know any coding, but their websites are quite good, because we also have templates that you can use. And the design really depends on like your product photography as well, and you can use stuff like Canva now to make really good artwork, which will make your design better lah. But we do have options, for example, like a WhatsApp order form that doesn't require any design. So you just upload your product information, your product image and the pricing and some description for it. Then you can like use the link and then share it through WhatsApp. So that is also an option. It's one of the sales channel.
Okay. All right. So assuming that the store is already set up, so what are the recommended marketing strategies to generate sales?
This will depend on like the person doing the business or the actual business itself. But I can share like my experience because I also do some e-commerce business as well. And right now, my go-to like after its launch, my go-to marketing strategy would to use ads. Is definitely something that I would do like on the get-go. Once my website is published, my e-commerce store is published, then I'll just run ads on social like Facebook and Instagram. So that's one, because that gives you like short-term traffic. It can get you traffic really fast. But of course, you need a budget for that lah. And then while that is running, then I would optimize the website with content and then do some search engine optimization, SEO, and this will give you a impact in the long term. So you don't want to like wait until something is not working. Like for example, your ads is not working, then only you go into search engine optimization or SEO. You want to do it like at the same time. So build up momentum with the ads, at least get some traffic, and then adjust from there. And then at the same time, build those long-term channels like search engine and content. So this would be my recommended marketing strategies.
Thoughts on influencers?
Influencers, I would say like now any can be an influencer. So you don't have to look for those influencer with a lot of followers, because sometimes it seems like okay, this will be good because they have a lot of followers, but once you like start doing some campaigns, it doesn't really fit their audience. So of course you have to look into their audience and their engagement level first. But these influencers would usually cost something, right? So if you want to be more like cost effective, you can find those micro influencers and get those that are really genuine promoting your products, and then see if you are able to get the recording of it and then run it as ads. So it's something called like a user generated content, but it's not coming from your customers. You are the one that intentionally are doing this. So it's not like something random that customers share. So you're building something like you're using the micro influencers, which probably don't cost as much or even free if you just like give them a product, right? So if they appreciate it. And then I really like this is because it's really genuine. So it's like your customers are promoting your product. So what they are saying is, it really hits lah, the pain points or anything. And then see if you can use that video as your ads, and it will make your ads performance do really well. So this is something that I've also like discovered recently, and it's quite good.
Yep. So you don't have to own self, let's say, pay a videographer to film your products or whatnot. You just have to maybe work with these micro influencers, and then you can have this ad content that you can start to run ads. Right?
Yeah, it's just a simple like selfie type of video.
Okay. So I guess this is a win-win situation. So the next one is for people who wish to have some inspiration. I mean, Easystore having like 40K sellers currently. So what are the top 3 to 5 best-selling category currently from Easystore sellers?
From what we are seeing now, the top categories in terms of like spending are consumer electronics, fashion, health and beauty, mom and baby, and F&B. But this is because of the like pricing. So consumer electronics, it's a higher price range. So in terms of the GMV would be higher, and it's also a market-wide consumer spending. So like Malaysia, for example, or Southeast Asia. So this would be the top categories anywhere you go, like any platforms. Like there are also lots of other great categories that you can do really well in, even if you are just starting out. For example, like you can go narrow on those categories like I mentioned just now. For example, like the mom and baby, you can focus on only like child safety products. It's called like niching down. So you just pick like one of those categories, like for example, like fashion. So then you can do something going into like Muslimah fashion, for example. So really like narrow down to a specific group of customers. And that's where you will find like those really good categories, not just those like top categories. So that would be like my advice.
And once you have decided to niche down, you can also plug in this keyword on the Google Trends to see whether is this product really trending upwards before you make your final decision.
Yeah. And then also like what I'm seeing now is people are doing content first before going into business. So when they are doing content, they already have that like specific category, their audience. So it's not in terms of like one particular product category. It's the category is the type of people. So what other products that the people want, then you can start selling or like upsell and cross sell. So you don't just like focus on one particular category. You focus on one customer avatar or customer group, target audience type of thing.
It means like, let's say you can just focus on, say, couples, or you can focus on just people from millennials, something like that, that you just target this group of people.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. So what is your number one advice for people who wish to start an e-com business?
My number one advice would be don't like overthink it. And this is usually like the common problem that you are overthinking like what to sell. You are thinking of like how should I do marketing, whether should I use an e-commerce store or not. There are lots of ways that you can validate whatever that you are trying to think. Like even if you are thinking of using a e-commerce store, building an e-commerce store like Easystore, we do have a free plan that you can try out. Doesn't cost you anything, so you can start and then just try it out. Of course, the features are limited, but at least you can try out some features whether and see whether or not that it's suitable for you, or like not in particular like the Easystore is suitable for you or not, but in general, like whether you should use e-commerce store or whether or not you should just use like WhatsApp order form. So you can just try and then test, because the faster you try and test, the faster that you can start improving and then growing. So that would be my number one advice.
What's the testing phase that you recommend people to test? Let's say like 1 month or 2 months or 3 months before they move on to the next one.
I would say like within one, it depends on how aggressive that you want to do, because we do have a lot of sellers that are doing part-time. So for these part-time sellers, they are working full-time during the day. So they might only have a few hours each day. So it will take them a longer time to test. So maybe like 1 month would be a good time, I would think, to test out. So anything longer than 1 month, I would say is like too long already, because you might be investing your time, investing your money as well. So if you keep it going on for a longer time, then you will end up spending a lot more resources than you should have.
All right. And this 1 month period, you also recommend them to run some ads to see whether do they get sales.
Yeah, if they have budget like set aside, so maybe from their salary or something, they can put in like 500 a month. Then definitely try out ads. You can get some data much quicker using ads. But it's okay if you don't. You can just test it out with friends and family, or just use social media. Social media, you can still get good organic reach. I mean, aside from like Facebook, which might be harder, you can try Instagram. Twitter is also a good one, and even now with TikTok, right? TikTok is giving you good reach, organic reach that you don't have to pay for. So you can use this platform to try out lah before spending on ads.
All right. Okay. So to wrap up, is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience?
Also, just another advice, keep up to date in terms of trend. You can look into other countries as well. So not just whatever countries that you are in, like Malaysia or something. You can look into trends in like US or China, like in terms of e-commerce, consumer behavior, because it will, usually will come to the country. So which country that you are in. So try to just, look into the trends in different countries. And also another thing is, don't put your eggs in one basket. We've seen a lot of stories where people, they put a lot of resources, they put a lot of effort on one particular thing. So they are selling on like Shopee, for example, and then suddenly their Shopee account disappeared or is banned. And then from the recent issues that we've faced with social media, suddenly social media server down, all these types of issues. So you want to have a backup. At least if something goes down, you have something else going on. Your website might be down, at least you still have your social media. Social media is down, you still have your marketplaces and so on.
Right. I think it's a very good advice to build like a multi-channel store approach.
Yeah.
Right. So thanks Amirul for coming onto the show. Check out Easystore down below and I'll see you in the next episode.
All right. Thank you.